Welcome back to Project and Materials YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the subscribe button because it enables you to access more updates and tutorials on project writing. In our previous videos, we talked about the background to the study, which gives a broad overview of the topic. Now, let's move on to the statement of problem. This part of your research is where you pinpoint the specific issue or challenge you're focusing on. It needs to be clear and concise. Your statement of problem is quite different from the background of the study that provide broader or global perspective of your study. Your statement of problem should precisely displays the issue or problem that necessitated the study and must be stated quite briefly and very clearly. The question you need to ask yourself is, what is the problem confronting the subject under investigation? You should avoid empty assumptions and must be avoided in the statement of the literature. To achieve this, you must cite sufficiently previous related studies and show the gap in literature which the related studies failed to close. To get a clear insight of the statement of the problem, next is sample. For example, if our topic is about how social media affects human relationships, we need to identify the problems related to this. In Nigeria, for instance, social media has been associated with issues like hate speech, fake news, and manipulation of images. These problems can cause harm to both the government and citizens. So, in the statement of problem, we would highlight these challenges without making empty assumptions. Instead, we should refer to previous studies and identify gaps in the research that need to be addressed. Let's elaborate further on the concept of the statement of problem using simpler language. In the statement of problem, you're essentially pointing out the main issue you're studying. It's like saying, this is the problem I want to solve or understand better. For example, let's say you're researching how social media affects relationships in Nigeria. Instead of just talking about social media in general, you might focus on specific problems caused by social media, like spreading hate speech, sharing fake news, or manipulating photos. So, in the statement of problem, you'd mention these problems clearly and briefly. You wouldn't just make guesses, you'd base your statements on what other researchers have found. If there are gaps in what's been studied before, you'd point those out too. Remember, this part of your research sets the stage for everything else. It's like laying down the foundation for a building. If you're clear about the problem you're tackling, it's easier to find solutions or answers later on. In the next video, we'll talk about the purpose of study, which is like explaining why you're doing this research in the first place. Don't forget to subscribe for more helpful videos, and if you need materials or assistance with your project, check out our website. We're here to make your research journey smoother and more successful.